to tonight's strategy, Allison Williams.
Yeah, Sean, they came out and went on a 22-1 run to start that second half, and they did so with 3 of their usual starters on the bench. So interim head coach Jeff Capel has elected to go with that same 5 to start this game tonight. He's starting Frank Jackson, Matt Jones, and Marquise Golden, along with Emil Jefferson and Jason Tatum to begin this game. Capel said that group gave this team energy. They played with defensive intensity. They communicated, and that led to them being unselfish on the offensive end. He said the way they played became contagious. The hope is they can get the team off to that same kind of start here tonight against NC State.
And for Marquise Golden of Duke, the freshman, it's his first career start. For NC State, Dennis Smith, the star. Henderson, an excellent three-point shooter. Maverick Rowan, Abdul Malik Abu, and the 7-footer, Omer Yurtseven. He's 7 feet, but it's Abu who will jump against Bolden. And Jeff Capel said with this change in the starting lineup, he's particularly interested to see how Bolden handles his first career start.
And it'll be really interesting to see how NC State handles this atmosphere. When they went on the road to North Carolina, they were not only blown out, the game got away from them early. And you've got to get off to a good start, especially on the road.
They're in a high-scoring team, better than 81 points per game, 5th in the league, but they've been much better at home, as Jay notes, than on the road. Here's Smith Jr.
Run that little 2-man game called side action off the elbow.
And a shot by Abu, short with the shot clock running out. The rebound down to Jason Tatum. He thought about a 3, passed it off for a 3 instead. They wouldn't go for Jones, and the follow no good as well by Bolden.
And right there, North Carolina State, Sean, was just flat out lucky Duke didn't score. Gave up a near offensive rebound dunk and a wide open 3.
Barry Henderson at the rim to tip in the miss by Maverick Rowan, and NC State is first on the board. The Wolfpack losers of 3 of their last 4 against what would generally be considered an easy schedule in this conference. No easy outs, but they've lost to Boston College, Georgia Tech, and Wake Forest. Their only win in the last 4 against Pittsburgh.
NC State went to a 2-3 zone on that last possession. Now Jason Tatum switches off with Emil Jefferson to guard Dennis Smith.
There's the talent of Smith on display. Explosive to the bucket for the freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Now normally, I think Emil Jefferson would do a much better job guarding that, but he was out with that bone bruise in his foot, and he did not look comfortable trying to stay in front of Dennis Smith. That's tough at any time when you're 100%, let alone when you're injured.
And the 3 out of the corner. The first points of the game for Duke from Frank Jackson, the freshman from Alpine, Utah.
And made possible by that penetration, and you can't come off some of these Duke perimeter shooters, but the 2 most dangerous shooters are on the bench, Grayson Allen and Luke Kennard.
You have to wonder how they'll handle that. Kennard in particular has had an excellent year. He's the 3rd leading scorer in the league.
Jason Tatum off the ball screen by Emil Jefferson, and they got 4 guys drawn to the ball. That's called overhelp. You don't need 4 guys on the ball because that's going to leave a good shooter wide open stepping into that shot.
Smith calling for Abu to set a screen. Now the pass attempt is blocked by Jackson. Rowan saves it for NC State, but the shot clock runs out.
And Sean, that's what Duke was looking for with this lineup, was to get some defensive intensity out of the gate and some toughness. And Duke has been scored upon awfully easily in ACC play. They're allowing 34 points in the paint per game. That's 3rd worst among major conference teams, and 52% of the points that they allow are in the paint.
Bolden missed the dunk, but the putback up and in. Matt Jones has given Duke its first lead of the night.
And that's got to drive Mark Gottfried crazy. Almost gives up a dunk and then gives up an easy layup on the rebound, and Matt Jones didn't even have to jump to get.
Anderson fouled while shooting a 3, fouled by Jason Tatum. His first foul and the first on the team. First foul on either team in the game, nearly 3 minutes in.
Just looked like a miscommunication. There were 2 guys on the ball, Jefferson and Tatum. And usually wherever Emil Jefferson is the right place. He's such a good and smart defender. He tries to switch out, and Tatum leaps out, and Henderson winds up fouling him. There's no need to have both those guys go.
Henderson made the first of the 3.
He is an excellent perimeter shooter. You've got to make him put the ball on the deck. He had 21 points and 8 rebounds against Pittsburgh in their win.
Played 2 seasons at West Virginia, then transferred. Sat out a year, was going to play his first season for the Wolfpack last year, but in the first game of the season, he injured his ankle. They thought he'd be back, but the longer it went, they realized he wasn't going to be back, and after a while, they decided it was just better to redshirt him. Even though they have some players with experience, they have a few who have not played for a while. Nice move to the bucket. Emil Jefferson's first.
NC State trying to go with that zone to try to keep Duke out of the lane and show them 5 red jerseys. But Duke has been getting where they want basically at will.
Here at 7 from Turkey. Little long with a jumper. Maverick Rowan tipped it out, but right to Jackson for Duke. Jones underneath. That looked like a travel. And it's laid back up and in by Jason Tatum.
In North Carolina State, you can see, Sean, the difficulties they've got on defense. That was just a simple little shot fake, ball fake by Matt Jones. And Duke was able to get a wide open layup to Jason Tatum. He may have walked with it, but he was wide open.
9-6 Duke, nearly 4 minutes gone by. Abu, tough shot, and he made it with the shot clock at 6. First bucket for Abdul Malik Abu, junior from Boston.
He's a respected player in this league. Very productive as a junior. He's got 4 double-doubles, 20 double-doubles on his career. And he's coming off a really good game against Wake Forest. Had 20 points, 7 rebounds in that one.
That was in a loss to the Demon Deacons. So ordinarily Kennard and Allen would be starters. First game they have not started all season long. They'll be in after the media timeout. Smith, a nice move to the bucket. He'll go 94 feet with the great one. Right after this.
What an honor for Dennis Smith Jr.
Dennis Smith, what is your favorite thing to eat?
Crab legs.
When did you hurt your knee?
August 2nd, 2015 at Adidas Nation.
How long did it take you to feel 100% again?
I could say about 10 months.
And you feel 100% now?
Not 100%, but I started feeling like I could go out and compete.
What sport are you good at other than basketball?
Football.
What position you play?
Cornerback.
All right, you guys, your bus broke down on the way to the game on Saturday, and you had to get in managers' cars. Which car were you in?
Casey and Nick.
Were you in the pickup truck?
I was in the pickup truck.
Were you in the cab, or did you sit in the back with the rest of the
I
guys?
was in the cab.
In the cab.
Put all the big guys in the back.
Dennis Smith's in the cab.
Yes, sir.
94 feet.
Discriminating against big guys, making the big guys sit in the back of the pickup truck on the way to the game. That's just guards and play-by-play people are very much the same.
Dennis Smith, perhaps still distracted by his appearance with Jay Billis, missed from in close.
Did you hear that? Their bus, NC State's bus broke down on the way from campus to their arena on Saturday playing Wake Forest, and all the managers had to leave the arena, get in their own cars, and go pick up the team. And seven of the players were in the back of a pickup.
There has to be an NCAA violation in there somewhere, doesn't there?
Boy, what a pass by Luke Kennard. He's right-handed, but plays basketball, shoots left-handed, made that wraparound pass left-handed. That's just a beautiful pass, and right around Ted Kapita and through Abdul Malik Abu. It's pretty good.
First foul on Abu. Harry Giles the bucket. Kennard and Grayson Allen in off the bench. They had started every game this year for which they had been eligible. Of course, Grayson Allen missed time.
Have you ever heard of guys being right-handed and then playing basketball left-handed?
No.
I know it happens a little bit. Nate Britt is one of those guys in North Carolina, but it's so rare. I mean, you got to be a hand-eye coordination athlete to be able to do that.
Out of the corner, the three wouldn't go for Grayson Allen. Tipped up by Jefferson. Ooh, he nearly intercepted the pass ahead.
It's a huge difference for Duke in their defense when Emil Jefferson's on the floor. He's just so smart. He's always positioned very well, and he talks his teammates through it. And just about any action you're guarding, if you can't talk it, you can't guard it.
Dennis Smith for three. He has 5 points, shoots 36% from three-point range, but just 1 for 10 in their last 2 games entering tonight.
And one thing he doesn't want to do, he knocked that jump shot down because Matt Jones' hands were down, just as Torn Dorns were down right there, and Luke Kennard knocked it in. But I think NC State's going to want to attack the basket, attack the paint, see if they can get to the free throw line. They don't want to settle for jump shots all game long.
Kennard's first bucket, he averages 19.7 per game, 3rd in the league. He's 44% from three-point range. 2nd in the league behind Jamel Artis of Pittsburgh. But he came off the bench tonight. Are you surprised by that? I know the subs, that lineup that started the game tonight, gave them energy in the second half against Miami, but are you surprised they benched Allen and Kennard to start this game?
I'm a little surprised. I'm not shocked. I mean, it went so well for them in the second half and trying to keep that continuity and defensive toughness first type thing. I don't think it's something you're going to see long term. You're not going to have players that score as well as Luke Kennard and Grayson Allen sitting the bench and not playing as many minutes as possible in the long term if Duke's going to be the best they can be.
Smith well off with the shot, then Tatum at the other end got fouled on the drive. The officials are Mike Eads, Pat Driscoll, and Doug Shows, and they're not pleasing Mark Gottfried at the moment. Smith called for his first foul. Of course, this is game 5 with Jeff Capel, ordinarily the associate head coach, as the acting head coach. They're 2-2. They won the first game against Boston.
Responsibility for Harry Giles, and Harry Giles just waltzes right underneath the basket. The pass goes directly to him. That can't be any easier. And when you're guarding out of bounds underneath, you want to make them throw it long or throw it to the short side of the floor. You don't want anything underneath the basket. So a complete breakdown by North Carolina State and their young defenders.
Markel Johnson, freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. Torn Dorn. They're going very deep in the shot clock, and that's a goaltend. No doubt about it. Count the bucket for Ted Capita in off their bench. Let's check in with Allison Williams.
Well, early on for Mark Gottfried's NC State team, offensively, guys, they have to have more poise. They're getting too rattled, and they need to play with their own tempo when they have the ball. You remember, Jay, in practice yesterday, they worked on those 3 to 5 passes vertically before they get into their offense. They have to do that here against Duke.
That's a good point, Allison. Just to move the defense a little bit before they attack it. And in practice, it was kind of a little bit of false motion just to get some movement, move the defense, and then they really went to a high ball screen. And right now, they're running more of their UCLA high post offense, that sides where they try to get a two-man game, and Abu just catching it and facing up. He is shooting it very, very well and has been aggressive. But one thing Abdul Malik Abu has not done in ACC play is get to the free throw line.
And a response again at the other end by Harry Giles.
But didn't that look comfortable? I mean, he's not looked that comfortable on a shot since he's come back and has been healthy enough to play. That looked like the old Harry Giles shooting it.
Missed the first 11 games of the season, has had multiple knee problems, had it cleaned up at the beginning of the year. First bucket for Torn Dorn, transferred from Charlotte and sat out last year.
You really like that Torn Dorn took Frank Jackson down into the post.
Grayson Allen called for a travel. First turnover committed by Duke, more than 8 minutes gone by.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
Be analyzed, no matter how
Yeah, and I don't
minor it is.
see the problem there. You shouldn't open a Gatorade bottle with your teeth. Your teeth are too important.
Now there's some good analysis.
Yeah, but that stuff happens. I mean,
Right, if it was
when you and
anybody
I
else, we
walked
wouldn't
into
have
the
showed
building,
it
I'd
again.
hit you harder than that.
That's the situation, unfortunately, that he is in. Some here at Duke, I think the media has been a little overzealous in covering the travails of Grayson Allen. Duke leading by 3, 11.5 to go, first half.
Duke switching exchanges underneath that Frank Jackson and Ted Capita.
Henderson launches an air ball.
This is a really good job by Matt Jones. Matt Jones is a senior from DeSoto, Texas. He can switch off onto any player. He can guard a big guy. If you remember, in the national championship game in 2015, he spent a fair amount of time guarding Frank Kaminsky. Guard a point guard. I mean, he can guard just about anybody.
Kennard in the lane and good hands.
That was Torn Dorn that knocked
I
it
believe it
away.
was too. Tough to tell from our suspended sauna. And then the foul committed by Kennard, his first. And team foul number 2. 2 fouls now on each team.
North Carolina State is a good offensive team. This team can score. The only problem that the Wolfpack have got is they do not do a great job defensively, have not done a great job defensively in ACC play. But putting points on the board is not the issue.
Overall, they're giving up 77.2 points per game. That is worst in the ACC.
What they really need to do now is continue, as Duke is switching, continue to look for the best possible matchup and go after it. And they've got to look to slip some of these screens and catch Duke in some of those switches.
They're Capita with 4 points now, and as Bolden got tangled up with Capita, the foul called on Capita, his first, the team's third. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, on ESPN, another great doubleheader. Number 2, Kansas battles West Virginia at 7 p.m. Then number 4, Kentucky taking on Tennessee. Super Tuesday presented by CenturyLink on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN.
That's going to be brutally difficult for Kansas and Morgantown. When you play West Virginia, you're going to have to take care of the ball. And we've seen, though, when West Virginia, Oklahoma did it to them, Kansas State, when you can be even with them in the turnover battle, if you don't turn it over 20, 25 times, you're going to have a great opportunity to win. But it's hard to do because they really do defend.
Jackson now to Jefferson. And the crowd loves the effort. West Virginia lost twice last week to fall to 18th in the country, but they knocked Baylor off, and Baylor was number 1 in the nation for just 1 week. The only week in school history they were number 1. Now they'll try to take down number 2. Jefferson left wide open, and a nice pass by Jason Tatum.
2 NC State defenders stayed with the ball. Nobody picked up Jefferson as he rolled to the basket. That's just poor defense. It's not just a rotation, it's bad communication between the 2 guys guarding the ball.
And a bad pass. Abu tried to force it in. Tatum found Jones in the corner. He finds an open spot, missed the 3, and a good rebound in traffic by Torn Dorn.
One of the best guard rebounders, not only in the ACC, but in the country. Dorn really goes to the defensive glass as a guard.
Averages 5.5 rebounds per game. Good hands again on defense, this time by Tatum. The 3 ball wound up with Bolden. 3 turnovers committed by NC State. And a 3 rattles home for Jason Tatum.
Well, what a pass by Matt Jones. Smart play. See, this is where a mature team on the road has got to answer. You have to answer a bucket like that, a mini run by Duke with a bucket of your own.
Dorn took the handoff, missed the 3. Jackson the rebound and the push for the Blue Devils. And his pocket picked by Markel Johnson, all alone for the dunk.
That looked like it was going to be another advantage situation for Duke, and Markel Johnson turned that around in a hurry. And Johnson's just a freshman. Both he and Smith handling point guard duties, and Johnson has a 2-to-1 as a freshman off the bench with a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. That is really good.
Very highly touted prospect. Hasn't shot it very well, but has handled the ball well when he's been in there. Tatum called for a travel. 4 Duke turnovers.
Now, Jason Tatum is so talented. Here's the steal, just reaching around with that right hand. Johnson knocking that thing away. And look at this. Look at this ball screen defense. Nobody picks up the roll from Emil Jefferson, and that's just not the 2 guys that are guarding the screener and guarding the ball. All 5 guys have to defend a ball screen, and Johnson left the tag and went out to the perimeter and left the guy wide open underneath. They're going to keep 2 on the ball. First, you got to double team better, but you certainly have to rotate strong.
Anders Rowan having a tough start, missed from in close. You saw the defensive numbers. 77 overall, but 84 points plus allowed by NC State in conference play. That's the biggest reason they're 2-5. Grayson Allen right on cue. Buries a three. He has 5 off the bench tonight.
Allen gets a lot of acclaim for his driving ability and the reckless abandon with which he plays, but I think the best part of his game is as a shooter. And he catches it with 2 feet on the floor, man. He does a great job in knocking down shots.
Strong drive there by Smith. He was fouled. He'll be at the free throw line after this.
The 2 winningest programs in the history of the sport. Run, baby, run.
ESPN2, Mississippi State and South Carolina. 4-5 and a 5-point game. Gus?
Dennis Smith at the free throw line here. 6 points now for the freshman.
Dennis Smith Jr. is from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I talked to him yesterday. He said he was really excited about playing in his first game at Cameron, but more excited to be playing against a couple of his best friends for the first time in Duke's Harry Giles and Jason Tatum. Him and Giles met back in 7th grade at a 5-star camp. They're very close. There was a point when they all agreed that they would be a package deal and play together in college. That, of course, didn't happen, but Smith said they are still in constant contact. He called him after practice last night. He said they would talk a ton before and after the game, but definitely not during.
Well, Smith's good buddy Tatum just got his 2nd foul, and 4 team fouls now on Duke with 7:12 to go in the half.
He got that 2nd foul on a needless reach after Maverick Rowan grabbed that rebound. NC State going back to the 2-3 zone.
Wow. Smith again. 9 points. No 94 feet with Jay Billis Jinx tonight. Do you think of those questions yourself?
I do. I don't really prepare. I don't know if you can tell. I don't really prepare for it.
I could tell. I didn't know if there were other people we should blame.
I thought our producer Eric Mosley did a fabulous job of recording that on his iPhone. Really good drive by Dennis Smith Jr. Not great defense to stay in front. We talked pregame on the keys to the game, that trying to keep Dennis Smith out of the paint was a real key for Duke. Not just guarding the 3-point line, because the 3-point line opens up when he gets into the paint. And that kid is a big-time talent. And to think that he's still not 100%, as you mentioned, on 94 feet. Wonderful plug. He's not 100% yet. I wonder what 100% looks like for him. He's so good.
As you saw, leading the conference is Smith in assists and steals, 5th in scoring. Jefferson, the free throws. 29-25. NC State trailing. Smith again. Tipped out by Yurtseven, but corralled by Luke Kennard of Duke. And he got bailed out. He was in a little bit of trouble in the lane, about to pass it off to the wing, and Maverick Rowan fouled him, his first.
You're not going to see Dennis Smith miss many of those. He got switched off on him. Frank Jackson just fell down. And that was going to be an easy bucket.
Kennard swatted back in his face by Henderson, but it wound up right with Grayson Allen, who missed the 3. And a couple of NC State players tipped it away from each other. Matt Jones for 3.
Matt Jones is in a great rhythm. Not only in a great rhythm offensively, because he made 12 of his last 24 threes coming into this game, but in a great rhythm on defense too.
Allen, acrobatic layup. And Mark Gottfried wants a timeout. Well, Jeff Capel felt that his team played with much more energy in the second half against Miami. Made a lineup change tonight, hoping the energy level would continue high, and it has been.
Well, just a great job in transition. Duke getting the ball up court. And Luke Kennard, the primary handler, and they've got so many different guys, whether it's Matt Jones, Grayson Allen, Frank Jackson, that can bring the ball up and initiate that fast break. And Allen, that was a fabulous finish with the right hand on the other side of the basket.
Balance scoring for Duke. They're on a 6-0 run. Well, we mentioned the lineup change, but of course none of this happens, at least that which is planned ahead of time, without the input of Coach K. Even though he is recovering from back surgery, he has been coming into the office for about an hour a day last week. He was by for a little while yesterday, did not come by today, but the staff, Jeff Capel and the assistants, in regular communication. They go by his house and watch film. They obviously meet with him when he's here at practice. Coach K has watched some practice, some of them via
Closed circuit TV. There's closed circuit TV in the building, so you can watch what's going on the floor in the locker room, I guess, and that's what we're told he's been doing.
And once the game starts, obviously it's Jeff Capel with the assistants on the bench helping him out. Maverick Rowan, and a foul called as he got tangled up with Frank Jackson.
Yeah, if he didn't go down, if Maverick Rowan didn't go down, that wouldn't have been called. But those are the kind of fouls you can live with. You got a guy diving for a loose ball. He was behind Rowan, and Rowan had possession of it when he got clipped. If both of them, if there was no possession, they were both going at it, I think that would have been still considered incidental contact and not a foul. Off the dribble a little bit easier.
Smith almost single-handedly now keeping NC State within range. He has 12 of their 28 points. Duke by 6. Tough pass, but Allen managed to field it off his shins. The feed from Giles.
Much better job defensively in this possession by North Carolina State until the foul. 25 seconds of really good defense, and then a careless foul trying to put a little pressure on a three-point shot.
2 fouls on Maverick Rowan. Mark Gottfried in his 6th year now in Raleigh. Time goes by quickly. They went to the NCAA tournament, did the Wolfpack Eagles' first 4 seasons. And then last year 16 and 17 overall, not in the tournament.
Gottfried was a terrific player at Alabama for Wimp Sanderson, played with Jim Farmer and a really good backcourt. And was an assistant to Jim Herrick at UCLA for a number of years. Won a national championship in 1995, and I remember really getting to know him when he was at Murray State, the head coach at Murray State, and he had an NCAA tournament team that was so good. He had the Terry Mays, Chad Townsend, Vincent Rainey. He had some great players on that team. That was a tough out in the tournament.
Grayson Allen, the free throws. Gottfried's back to his playing weight. He's been taking part in spin classes, lost about 45 pounds, he told me before the game tonight in the last year.
He lost them. I found them.
Markel Johnson holding the defense.
Gottfried said the hardest thing to give up was pizza.
You should never give up pizza.
I think that's a bad decision.
Yes.
Jim Larinaga had a great thing the other day. He said he's had a difficult time dropping a few pounds to get back to where he wanted to get. And he says, you know what? I was really skinny in high school, and I ate ice cream and drank soda and ate a lot of pizza. That's what I'm doing
Hot
again.
Dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard you guys talking about that the other night. Well, I heard you talking about it. I don't know if there was a play-by-play man since he hardly got a chance to speak the other night. Was there somebody in this seat Saturday night?
Hey, the quiet ones are the best ones.
Yurt 7 called for the foul, his second. So now Kennard, one of the best free throw shooters in the country, at the free throw line. 87.5% for the year. And it went spinning off to Ted Capita from the Congo. Played high school basketball in this country at Huntington Prep in West Virginia, and then 1 year at DME Academy in Melbourne, Florida. He's been a good bench player for NC State. Abu with Bolden right up on him. Tries to take the freshman inside and got fouled by Marquise. First foul and immediate timeout. 3:46 to go till halftime. Duke by 8. Segment, since you and Allison each have one, that it's more interesting and creative than those lame ideas that you and our production staff came up with. Today, I do appreciate it. I was looking pretty teased up in the Superman outfit.
Yes, that
was actual. You know, the hair obviously was fake, but that was my actual.
And your actual pajamas.
Yes.
Yeah, why don't we keep that Bitmoji up there for the remainder of the game when people know that Sean's in his normal Monday mood.
Apparently, I'm all choked up. I'm only allowed to work on Mondays. Football or basketball.
That was a request of the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday cruise.
I'm going to have some water now, so do what you do best and just talk for a long time. Abu rebounds the miss. 3:20 to go. NC State has managed to hang in there. With both of the young guards on the court together now, Smith and Johnson. Johnson handed it off to Smith. Nice cut. Henderson fouled in the head by Bolden.
Right, nice back cut as the dribble was coming to Henderson, the cutter. And a really gutsy pass by Dennis Smith. You know, Duke is switching basically every screen and exchange out on the perimeter. So Luke Kennard got caught looking at the ball, and Marquise Bolden had to come over and just caught him with that left arm. Good execution by NC State. That's exactly what Allison Williams was talking about before, that Mark Gottfried had talked about with his team yesterday, was get some movement and then attack. And even though the movement is not, you know, penetrating moves, just moving the defense, getting a couple switches has been helpful for NC State.
6 points for Terry Henderson. He's their second leading scorer for the year at 15 per game.
Challenge yourself. That's what Mark Gottfried told his guys defensively. They have to be better against the dribble penetration, staying square, keeping Duke in front of them and making them shoot over them, not go around them like that.
And Luke Kennard, the bucket for Duke. 5 points off the bench for Kennard.
Well, even though Kennard was able to get in the lane, Allison's exactly right. I mean, Mark Gottfried wants his team to stay in front, make Duke go through their chest. But at least that was giving up a 2 rather than an open 3. And that's where Duke can really get away from you, is if they're knocking down threes.
Abu indicating foul. He was hit on the arm as the shot was way off.
Trap fakes and ball fakes are effective against NC State. They are leaving the floor.
Ooh. Giles, a hot pass. Kennard had his head snapped back as he fielded it. Giles scores.
Well, Sean, we're probably not going to see this year what Harry Giles was when he was in high school. And he was so good, he probably won't be that this year. But what he is and what he can be is still pretty darn good.
He's had some great moments, as Jeff Capel has said. The important thing is keeping his confidence level up. Matt Jones continues red hot from three-point range. Duke with its largest lead of the night as we approach a minute and a half to go until halftime.
Boy, this is a big minute and a half. This thing can get away from NC State. What a pass by Allen that was. This may be the most important possession of the half for NC State. You got to get a score here. It's a high ball screen.
Shot clock running down. 5. Smith batted away by Jones. Allen, offensive foul as Ted Capita slid over along the baseline to take the charge. It's the first foul on Grayson Allen.
Well, whether he was there or not, probably not the right play by Allen to make. That was a tough pass. Not sure it would have gotten through for anything anyway. Could have been picked off on the other side.
Jackson exploded to the bucket, then missed the layup, and he's saying something to Pat Driscoll as if he thought he got fouled.
When you double clutch, it's less likely that you'll get a foul call.
And he has called for a foul as he guarded Kennard. His first.
The last couple minutes of a half, especially when you're on the road, are so important. And this was a 6-point game, and Duke able to take it out now to 11, can make it 13. Well, Sean, we've been talking about NC State's defense a lot. You give up 44, 45 points and a half on the road. That puts so much pressure on your offense to execute.
The team picked 6th in the preseason ACC poll out of 15. They're in serious trouble with an eye toward making it back toward the NCAA tournament. Dennis Smith, another bucket and a chance for 3. Their schedule gets a lot harder coming up. They just had the easy part of their schedule within the conference, and they kicked it around.
Emil Jefferson, I think would, if he were healthier, would have either been there to take that charge or go up to try to block that shot. He just doesn't look as quick. Looks like he's favoring that bruised foot and limping.
Matt Jones was called for the foul, his second. The free throws have NC State back within 9. 15 points now for Smith.
We both evacuated. It was the tallest evacuation in the greater Durham area. Jason Capel played at North Carolina, brother of acting head coach Jeff Capel. It was all done without notes, by the way.
Yeah, it was impressive.
I thought so too.
David Robinson's son is on the team, bench player. Travel called in time for NC State to get a shot up here. This could be a big turn of events.
And not very good execution by Duke down the stretch, and NC State with an opportunity. It looked like this could get away from it. And now all of a sudden, if they have a chance to score, get fouled, or both here, that'd be a big change going into halftime.
Smith lets it fly. What a half for Dennis Smith. 18 points for the freshman. And every time it looked like Duke was going to open up a comfortable working margin, NC State has scratched back closer. They run off down by only 6.
Dennis Smith was sensational in that first half. And Duke had a great opportunity here against a team that's a little bit fragile on the road, but just crosses over, pulls up on a great defender in Matt Jones, and buries it.
He said they just need to clean some things up, move their feet, be in better position to keep Duke out of the paint. And then also in transition, they have gotten hurt because they've missed a couple layups, but he said, we'll be fine. We just got to clean a few things up.
Mark very positive before the game, even though it's been a disappointing stretch. He said the attitude's good. They practiced well. He believes they're capable of turning it around. He hopes a win tonight at Duke will be what propels them to a terrific second half of the conference season. Second half not off to a good start defensively as Jason Tatum scores with ease inside, and he has 7.
Duke just hit the elbow and got a little flex cut down low and gets basically a wide open layup.
Abou inside, the dunk for Abdul Malik Abou off a nice setup by Dennis Smith. 8 points for the junior from Boston.
And Allison had mentioned keeping Duke out of the paint, but that's what Duke has to do with Dennis Smith. I mean, he's getting into the paint just about at will right now. And he's too good of a player. You got to make him see 5 white shirts.
Jackson just lobbed it up. Marquise Bolden had slapped out of his hands. In the lane for a long time, missed it with the left and kept fighting. Mark Gottfried up off the bench giving the signal for 3 seconds. Bolden was in the lane for a long time.
And Marquise Bolden's got really good feet. He's done a really good job in guarding some ball screen action, and he's really getting better. Played 23 minutes in the last game against Miami, and that was by far the most he's played in the game. Wound up with 8 points and 6 rebounds, but I think his defense was really a big factor in his playing so much in the second half.
Bolden missed the first 8 games of the season with a leg injury. Of course, they've dealt with injuries. They've dealt with all of the stuff surrounding Grayson Allen. His suspension. Now Coach K out with back surgery. A lot of people thought coming into the season Duke was the best team in the country. Can they get back to that this year or close to it with this cast, assuming this bunch, now that they're healthy and together, stays healthy?
I think they can. They've showed some flashes of it, but the team that you're seeing right now is not what they're, it's not good enough to win a national championship right now. But they've still got plenty of time. And I like the pieces. The one thing though, Sean, this team doesn't have a true point guard. And if you look back on Mike Krzyzewski's best teams over the years that have won championships, they've had a true point. The only exception to that would probably be 2010 when John Shire moved over to run the point. He was not a natural point guard.
Shire on the coaching staff.
Both he and Nolan Smith were the starting backcourt in that 2010 national championship team.
Foul on Bolden was his 3rd. He's the first player in the game with 3 fouls. NC State down by 8, now down by 6. Nice shot by Ted Capita. 6 points for the freshman who averages 4.5 per game.
He rebounds well. He's got a good motor. As you can see, he can hit 17 to 18 feet.
Jones on the drive, well defended. Henderson and Rowan were there for the Wolfpack. It wasn't pretty, but it ends up as a dunk for Abu.
I'm really surprised on that last Duke possession that a foul wasn't called. It looked like there was a foul up top on the drive. Now a double foul on Harry Giles and Ted Capito. Mike Eads is a terrific official. And he told me once that, as you see, Malik Abu, poor transition defense by Duke, but Mike Eads told me once that a double foul, calling a double foul is a really good tool for officials to use. And that was a double foul just called right there on Capita and Giles. So each one of them come away with the foul, and it's out of bounds underneath for Duke.
Good tool to send a message that they're going to clean it up if guys.
I guess, yeah. I'm not a fan of it, but Mike convinced me otherwise after we talked.
And now Capita's fired up because Giles just got called for a foul by Pat Driscoll, his 2nd.
See Harry Giles underneath just dislodging. And this may be a little bit too much. I mean, the post play, the officials have been told they need to clean up the post play. And when you dislodge underneath, they're going to call that. The problem is that was just too far to dislodge, and it was right in front of the official, wide open.
So a chance to make it a 1-point game, but Smith missed. A Buda miss. No miss there. Capita swinging around on the rim and gets called for a technical. Little delay before the officials called it. The crowd went crazy, and then Doug Shows out at midcourt signaled the technical.
And Mark Gottfried saying, "What are you doing?" It was a great play, and you kind of not ruined it, but you took away the momentum of it by hanging on the rim.
And there's no question.
Oh, no question, yeah. Maybe, well, unless his finger got caught, he could claim that. No, in the NBA, that would be a good highlight, but college, that's a no-no. I hated when that used to happen to me.
Well, when you got a technical, it certainly wasn't for this. And now Capita goes to the bench. The crowd serenading him. You can't do that. Duke has scuffled from the line tonight. They're now 4 out of 10 with that miss by Jason Tatum.
Usually Duke's an excellent free throw shooting team.
The league play, they're just under 73%. Overall, 73.6 for the year. Mark Gottfried still sending the message. No question that Capita deserved the technical, but it's a 2-point game, and now Smith the steal. After the pass from Jackson, he picked it off. A chance for the lead now for Rowan. A 3, Maverick Rowan.
What a terrible pass by Frank Jackson. Got stolen, and all of a sudden NC State, talk about new life that they got toward the end of the first half. And they have taken advantage of it here in the second. Great pass by Dennis Smith to Maverick Rowan. He's no goose. Get it, Maverick?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Right
You
here with
laugh. I mean, geez. Give me a break, please. Perfect pass in transition to Maverick Rowan as NC State takes the lead 49-48. Sean, Duke does not have a lot of energy on the floor right now. The crowd's not really been in it, and they don't have that verve or that woo-woo that referees can talk about. Right now, they got to get something to happen because NC State is doing a heck of a job to take the lead in this game.
They took it on the first basket of the game by Maverick Rowan. And you can feel the tension in the building now. Duke led by 12 in the first half. Think back to that sequence at the end of the half as a big stretch. Had a chance to a very comfortable margin going to halftime. NC State ended the first half at a 6-0 run in the final 27 seconds. Rowan can't score. A couple of tips and count it for Abu after your 7 tip, but it wouldn't go. 11-0 run now for the Wolfpack.
North Carolina State is running the side action that they call it, the UCLA high post offense. They're getting a two-man game on the left side of the floor, and there was a double team on Dennis Smith, but he was able to pass back out to Rowan. That was beautiful.
Kennard took a hit from Omer Yurtseven. He'll be at the free throw line for 2 when we come back to Durham.
Ever wonder why we're here?
Go, Bailey!
I do, and I'm a dog. This Friday.
Not wait for that game. Frank Mason III. No guard in the country has been better than Frank Mason, and Malik Monk, that 47-point game he put up against North Carolina, still the best individual performance that I've seen all season long. That's a great guard matchup. Devontae Graham for Kansas. You've got De'Aaron Fox for Kentucky. And then Bam Adebayo inside. That's going to be the matchup that'll be really interesting to watch as Kansas match Bam Adebayo inside. Talk about blue bloods going at each other. That's going to be awesome.
8 points for Luke Kennard. And a 1-point lead for NC State. They led very early, 6-5 with 17.5 to go in the first half. Didn't lead again until they took the lead moments ago on that big 3 by Rowan. Now a chance for Duke to recapture the lead.
NC State really ran its offense without a ton of pressure. And Duke's going to have to find a way to get a little bit more pressure on the ball because they ran their offense pretty comfortably there.
Jason Tatum nearly lost the dribble, found Allen in the corner. Jefferson the tip. Jefferson scooped it off the floor. Allen tries again. Kennard crashed, and it got batted around to Abu.
Neil Jefferson did such a good job there keeping that ball alive and getting it out to Allen. They're not going to get a more wide open or a better 3 than Allen just got.
They come to double Smith, a lot of dribbling, and he's in trouble. Picked up his dribble, called timeout, and then gave a bit of a forearm to Grayson Allen. And they got the timeout. No foul called on either player.
Good double team here by Emil Jefferson. Nothing there. Good job by the officials to get in there. There was more contact from the officials.
The timeout for NC State. The ball, 14 seconds on the shot clock, and a 1-point lead for the Wolfpack. Tuesday on ESPN, another great doubleheader. Kansas battles number 18, West Virginia. That's at 7. Then number 4, Kentucky taking on Tennessee. So important work to be done for Kansas and Kentucky before that matchup Jay just told you about. Super Tuesday presented by CenturyLink on ESPN. Fun to watch. Press Virginia.
Well, they force almost 24 turnovers a game. And that's a really good defensive backcourt. Javon Carter, Daxter Miles, Tariq Phillip. That's a good ring. A ball screen when the defender is Emil Jefferson. When he's defending the screener, I wouldn't bring that matchup. I would bring Harry Giles. I would bring another matchup, Jason Tatum. I would ball screen with those guys. But Dennis Smith, just an explosive player. Knock down shots. He's a streaky perimeter shooter. But he is not streaky when he puts the ball on the deck and gets by you. And he has got every shape, every move that you want, and an excellent finisher. He gets fouled about 6 times per 40 minutes, so he can put a lot of pressure on the defense without having to move without the ball. But as you mentioned, Sean, he leads the ACC in steals, leads the ACC in assists, and one of the top 5 scorers in the league.
They're trying to lead NC State to a rare win at Duke. They haven't won in this building since 1995. Coach K was out then with back problems. Pete Gaudette was the interim coach. Jeff Capel was a player on that team. Wolfpacks lost 16 in a row. And since the end of that 94-95 season, NC State has gone 7-37 against Duke, regardless of the venue. That's an all matchup. But 2 tough battles. We remember the game in Washington, D.C. in the ACC tournament last year. And the Wolfpacks held them right to the end. Rowan a miss. Capita over the back of Tatum. And Capita called for the foul. And that is his 4th.
A little surprised that Maverick Rowan didn't try a shot fake there. I mean, he came off that baseline screen, and he came off firing. It's like he was turning in the air. And he had a defender right on him. That was a really difficult shot. Whereas you catch, shot fake, and then you got a chance to put it on the floor and give yourself an open shot.
Duke just 2 out of 10 in the half. Now 3 for 11. High percentage dunk by Jason Tatum. And the lead again for the Blue Devils. Under 14 to go. Smith sold the foul in the lane in the traffic.
Well, Sean, when Jason Tatum caught this pass, he had Omer Yurtseven coming out to him trying to close out. And he just gave a tiny little fake and was able to freeze and go right around him. Just a poor closeout by Yurtseven. 7-footer. All you got to do is close out short, and if he pulls up, then he can put late pressure on that shot. But the thing you got to take away first is that drive.
Now at the other end, Matt Jones called for his 3rd foul, and Mike Eads with a conversation. Jeff Cable's way out on the court.
Well, these officials are nice guys. I mean, they're explaining all these fouls. I don't know why they have to explain it. They called it. Let's go.
Smith calmly makes the free throw. 74.6% from the free throw line. He was the preseason ACC Rookie of the Year ahead of the highly touted Jason Tatum and Harry Giles, among others. As Allison mentions, very close with the 2 of them. 1 out of 2 from the line. Tie game, under 14 minutes to go. Kennard down the lane, took the bump, acrobatic shot. Yurtseven called for the foul, and that's his 4th. So 2 NC State players now with 4. Capita's on the bench.
Well, this is a lot of movement out on the floor to ask a 7-foot freshman to be able to guard. And Yurtseven does not have a ton of experience, although he had a terrific game against Pittsburgh. He had 12 points and 16 rebounds in that game. That other game was more his speed. This one, he's having to switch out on guards and get back in transition. It's been a difficult deal for him. That's why he's picked up so many fouls.
Here comes B.J. Anya, once a key player for NC State. Came back for this season about 50 pounds heavier than a year ago. It's limited his effectiveness. It obviously did not please the coaching staff. He's making his first appearance of the night out of necessity with the foul difficulties. Yurtseven with 4 fouls in just 12 minutes of action.
So anytime you could put B.J. Anya into ball screen action, make him move around, get him out of the paint. He's got a 7'9" wingspan. He's the all-time leading shot blocker at NC State. He still doesn't play that many minutes.
They list him at 320. He comes to set a screen.
There's a double screen by himself.
Oh, come on now. Smith, stop and go, and a little too strong with the shot. Bolden the rebound and trap. Duke by 2 in the ball. Jones had to rescue the pass.
Now you get a spread floor. Bolden trying to put Anya into that ball screen.
Jones, pass deflected to Kennard. Dorn right up on him. 8 to shoot. Tatum, tough fadeaway over up. Boom! Big possession for NC State, and the answer by Abu.
That was a gamble by Jason Tatum. That elbow pass, the gamble opened up the layup for Abu. You don't gamble, stay strong. He can't get that ball to the basket. Poor play by the freshman.
You might say when guarding him, it was Abu-boo. Thank you for the courtesy chuckle.
I was thinking about something else funny.
Yes, I saw you looking at your phone, as you often do. Keeping up with your million-plus Twitter followers. Kennard into the student section. Great effort. Couldn't save it. NC State ball with only 14 to shoot.
Now watch number 0 here, Jason Tatum, as this pass is being made. A little bounce pass to the elbow. He gambles for it and opens up his body, and that opened up that drive. A direct straight line to the basket. You stay between Abu and the basket, it's going to be awfully difficult for him to be able to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim. When Abu just threw that ball behind his head on that last play, I think Mark Godfrey was going, where did that come from? Double dribble.
Yeah. Maverick Rowan turns it over. 6 committed by the Wolfpack. Timeout, 11:54 to go. A tight one. Duke.
Missouri is an outstanding player. Can go down into the post. He can put the ball on the deck. He's got three-point range. See him get to the rim. Just going right past Omer Yurtseven. Watch this turnaround jumper. Most guys like to go over their strong shoulder. He's right-handed. They want to go over their right shoulder for a turnaround jumper. He went over his left and faded away. That is not an easy shot. And for a young man that missed, what, the first 9 or 10 games with an injury, for him to come back, he's at double figures in just about every game. I think every game. And he has been really good all season long. Now advantage situation for NC State.
And Swift going to take advantage all the way to the bucket to tie the game again.
Well, Tatum went down. He's holding his mouth. He got hit hard in the mouth when he went down. That was an advantage situation on the break because Duke only had 4 defenders getting back.
Fourth tie. There have been 5 lead changes. Jones, a 3-point lead for Duke.
Well, that's another defensive mistake. You just can't leave a 3-point shooter, especially on the strong side.
3 out of 5 from 3-point range. He had a slump for a while earlier in the year. And the dunk by Jackson.
And Sean, guess who? It was Matt Jones on the steal. Knocks down the 3, then gets the steal.
The crowd, the loudest it has been tonight, perhaps played a part in the turnover. A travel against Torn Dorn.
Matt Jones did a great job of freeing himself up for a 3 and then takes away this lazy pass. And how about the alley-oop to Frank Jackson? And here's a walk. Well, there's the steal again from a different angle. You think Frank Jackson's a good athlete?
Wow.
Holy cow. Alpine, Utah. And he was up in the ether. Jeff Capel on the bench enjoying that. Emil Jefferson. A little bit of life back in the building. And Matt Jones has just been outstanding over his last 4 or 5 games on both ends of the floor. But in the second half against Miami, I mean, he was the absolute star.
No doubt. Kennard takes the hit and scores. And Duke starting to open it up again. Henderson called for his first foul.
Luke Kennard, the leading scorer on this team, just gets into the lane, able to get back to that left hand, even though he's right-handed. Just amazing. He's had a great year. And
Sure has.
He's far more than just a shooter. He came in with a reputation as a shooter and shot 42% from the field, 32% from 3 last year, and now he's well over 50% and over 40% those 2 categories. He's been as consistent a player not only as Duke has had, but as there's been in the ACC, especially on the offensive end.
He's averaging just under 20 points per game, 5.5 rebounds as a guard. Winston, one of the best 3-point shooters in the conference, one of the best free throw shooters in the country. Abu got hit by Jason Tatum, his 3rd. And team foul number 5. Each team with 5, 2 away from the bonus.
Just a freshman mistake by Tatum defensively. Went for that little shot fake. He stayed right between Abu and the basket And as soon as that shot fake went up, his eyebrows went up. Tatum was off the floor.
And Malika Boo makes the first free throw. 15.
Boo is a really good player. It's surprising how little he's gotten to the free throw line. In 7 ACC games coming into this one, he shot 11 free throws. And the guy is athletic and big and strong and productive. And he needs to get that line more.
And that's been a big problem for them. We mentioned their recent losses against teams that figured to be in the bottom half of the league, and they've been outscored badly from the free throw line.
2-3 zone now for NC State.
Lob for Bolden, off target from Jackson. NC State down by 7, more than midway through the second half now. Tough shot by Smith. He was hit after the release, got run into by Luke Kennard.
Almost walked when he first caught it. You know, in today's game of college basketball, you have to catch the ball prepared to shoot it. That'll help you establish a pivot foot. He did not walk, but that's a fabulous step back move, and Luke Kennard trying to get to him and fouled him. Was he sneezing? He looked like he was sneezing. Or he didn't like the defense.
Smith missed the first free throw. Kennard's foul is second. Smith of a double-double Saturday. 15 points, 13 assists against Wake Forest. Wow. They're a little tired. That one wasn't even close. Well, still a 7-point lead for Duke. 9.5 to go. Tatum charging perhaps a bit too anxiously. And he'll settle it down now with the senior Matt Jones.
Looks like NC State going to stay with the zone look, and that middle is wide open. If you can either pass it or drive it in there, you'll be able to kick it.
Ted Capita back in with 4 fouls. Fade away an air ball by Jones, out of bounds to NC State.
Will Jefferson was pleading with Mike Eads that he might have gotten fouled by Abdul Malik Abu. So there's not been a more important player to Duke's cause over the last year than Emil Jefferson has been. And he is one smart player.
And you've managed to say nice things about him despite the fact that he wears a number that you think should have been retired a long time ago.
You know what? It is the most productive number in Duke basketball history. Number 21. It scored more points and grabbed more rebounds than any other number.
Really? So who else besides you are somebody very terrific, apparently?
Who cares?
Well, that's true. Capita, the bucket.
Bunch of guys. We have Trajan Langdon, Robert Brickey, Emil Jefferson.
Well, here comes the productivity now. Anybody else?
Here comes the productivity.
Whoa. Grayson Allen. Wow. They got pinballed around. Allen's shot clock never did reset. Jones 4-3 wide left. And a good rebound in traffic by Capita. And the pesky Wolfpack hanging right in there, down by 5 under 8 minutes to go.
Little surprise Duke is not driving into the middle. They're not penetrating that zone, and they've been settling a bit. And you got to give Mark Godfrey credit for making that call going to that zone, because it's caused Duke a few problems.
Babu wide open off a feed from Rowan, missed it, snatched by Kennard. Tatum working on Capita. Wow.
NC State back to man after the miss. And Capita came out guarding the ball screen, just didn't stay connected.
Capita playing with 4 fouls as well. 13 and 7 for Jason Tatum. Gatorade National Player of the Year last year. Capita stripped. Kennard with Rowan trying to get there.
I think NC State's going to need a timeout here.
They're showing signs of fatigue lately. Second game in 3 days. It is extremely warm in here, as it usually is. Timeout.
Well, Jason Tatum has shown a lot of different skills in this one. Gets the switch. The double crossover gets all the way to the...
He is doing great work. And had a chance to talk with Joe and Mark tonight, and they are both really proud of what Mike and Mickey Godfrey are doing for so many young men and their families around the country. Team focus.
Well, it's one accomplished family. A double high screen and really trying to get the ball out of the hands of Dennis Smith.
Henderson open. Rattled out. Rowan kept it alive. Capita, he's had a big night off the NC State bench. 12 points and 9 rebounds now for Ted Capita.
Well, this is the best I have seen Ted Capita play. He only averages about 5 points, 4 rebounds a game. Doesn't play a lot of minutes. What a move.
But no finish. And Tatum still behind the play. It's 5-on-4. Johnson, there's room by the bucket, and Capita fouled. Capita's season high and career high as a freshman is 17 points. That was against St. Francis of Brooklyn in their second game of the season. So he has a chance to surpass that tonight against stiffer competition, obviously. Emil Jefferson called for the foul.
Capita
is first.
Capita plays so hard. Goes after the ball with both hands. He's a good rebounder. But what really kind of sets him apart is his ability to step away to 18 feet and knock down a perimeter shot. Let's just stretch the floor a little bit. Pull a big guy away. He can attack the middle.
He did not even play in their last 2 games against Pitt and Wake Forest. You're at 7 in foul trouble all night long. Five-point game, 5:50 to go. He scored in double figures in only 3 games prior to tonight. 14 tonight, his 4th game of double figure scoring.
NC State sticking with that zone look.
Left Grayson Allen alone for about 17 feet. He's not going to miss that one very often. 11 points for Grayson Allen, averages 15.
Dennis Smith was so far in the paint, he just couldn't recover. A little surprised to see him playing so far into the middle.
Smith way too high off the glass. Capita crashed the boards and fouled out.
Well, he went after it. That's a tough one for a big guy going after the ball like that, because he went after it with both hands and had the ball.
So a nice night for Capita. Really the best game of his career. He hadn't even made more than 1 field goal in a game since the beginning of the year, since the end of last year, actually. He had 3 buckets against Rider back in late December. And had more than 1 basket in the game since in ACC play. 7-point lead, Duke, nearing 5 minutes to go.
NC State's done a much better job defensively in the second half. And one of the things they've done well is they haven't fouled.
Missed it from close range, acrobatically to the rim, and Smith has it roll off, and he's lost the magic here in the last few minutes. Grayson Allen all day. Perhaps too much time. Then a foul call, I believe it's on Kennard for riding out Dennis Smith Jr. 3 fouls on Luke Kennard.
You could say that both teams a little bit fortunate now. Jason Tatum's had a couple of layups he's missed. Dennis Smith's had a couple that he's missed. And right now, Mark Godfrey trying to keep him in it. And tell him, hey, don't hang your head. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of time left in this game, and you're going to have a lot more opportunities. And they're right within striking distance. And they'll be on the road within, they can get now within 5 points if he knocks these 2 down. So really, Sean, down the stretch, this game's more than about getting scores. It's about getting stops.
22 points for Smith, but 18 of those were in the first half. He's 1 out of 5 from the floor in the second half. They're now 3 for 6 from the free throw line. But they refuse to go away. Season that started with high hopes for NC State, despite a lot of inexperienced players. Of course, enormously high expectations for Duke, unmet so far, but a long way to go in this season. Jones open deep 3, no.
He was wide open, but I want to see Duke try to drive it a little bit. They're not doing that. But now, just like Allison Williams said, that Mark Godfrey was telling his team, get into the paint. Duke cannot keep in transition after that shot. Couldn't keep Dennis Smith out of the lane.
Yes, he still has something left in the tank after he went right by the defense to score. Kennard a couple of moves, and then he fired it past Jason Tatum.
Well, it's hard to blow a one-possession game. This is an NC State team that has not performed well on the road, but Dennis Smith Jr. certainly has. The freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
On ESPN.
On ESPN2, 3-point game. Mississippi State calls a timeout. They'll have the ball with a chance to tie. 27 to go in a 4-5 matchup. TCU trying to press Oklahoma State set.
Terrific press offense. Run the baseline, get the ball to the middle, and then at the end of the press offense, get to a guy who can make a shot. Phil Forte delivers.
Speaking of making shots, Jordan Woodard. That game comes up right after ours. Back to the action, Sean.
And ours is a good one, Carl. 3:42 to go. NC State down by 3 with the ball. Dennis Smith whips it underneath, and the slam by Abdul Malik Abu.
How did that pass get through there? What a catch. And the finish even better. Abdul Malik Abu.
Tatum down low. Giles fouled before the shot. Didn't go anyway. But that foul does get NC State over the limit.
Watch that one-handed pass all the way underneath. I'm shocked that Jason Tatum didn't get a finger on that ball or take it away, but that was a fabulous catch and finish by Abdul Malik Abu. Well, he has had another terrific game, coming off an excellent performance against Wake Forest individually. And he also played very well. You mentioned that game that NC State and Duke played in Washington, D.C. last year in the ACC tournament. He had 19 and 9 in that one.
Giles missed the front of the 1-and-1. Smith gives them the lead. A 3 with Matt Jones right up on him. First lead for the Wolfpack since they were up 51-50 with 15:22 to go. 3 minutes remaining now.
Well, this is a confident Wolfpack bunch right now. How about that?
9 unanswered points. They've had a couple of runs. Kennard with the response. And a Duke timeout after they take a 1-point lead.
Like Dennis Smith. That is so deep and against a terrific defender in Matt Jones. But even Jones couldn't believe he pulled up from that deep. And NC State, after the made field goal, back in the little 2-3 zone. And Luke Kennard was ready to shoot when he caught that thing. And Kennard, an excellent shooter, especially when he can get his feet set and it's a catch and shoot opportunity.
And as they came to the huddle, Mark Gottfried had his hands outstretched for his team as if to say, where is the defense? Can't leave Kennard that wide open.
You know what? I'm sure Mark can point to a number of different possessions, we all can, where NC State's defense could have been a heck of a lot better. But for State to be in a 1-point game with just under 3 minutes to go on the road in Cameron Indoor Stadium, I don't think he could have dialed it up any better.
Well, they have talent, especially those two. Smith to Abu.
Great play run out of the timeout by NC State. And you've got a young team that can execute under pressure. Makes you feel awfully good that you've got an opportunity to win.
They are talented. You can see why. They were 6th in the league in the preseason poll. Kennard knew it was a miss. He went charging after it, but Abu blocked out. NC State hasn't won here since 1995. They've lost 16 in a row in this building. Since the end of that season, they're 7-37 in all games against Duke. Rowan for three, and they're thinking about ending that streak with under 2 minutes to go.
A terrific screen by Malik Abou. Running that 2-3 zone. Good ball fake.
That one, a deep three from well beyond the line. Abou, another rebound in traffic. 8 rebounds for Abou to go with 19 points.
He went straight up and got that with both hands, didn't he? Same play.
Smith to the bucket, and this is the largest lead of the night for the Wolfpack. Up 6 with 1:22 to go.
NC State ran the same play. The first one resulted in a 3 by Rowan. The second one, Dennis Smith got all the way to the rim. How about NC State? Blown out at North Carolina. Beaten at home by Wake Forest. A nice hesitation move off that little double screen up top. And then the previous play, the little back screen by Maverick Rowan, and the ball goes to Abdul Malik Abou. You see the back screen. Emil Jefferson couldn't get through it. About as easy as it can get. They've run that 3 times. It's resulted in a lob dunk, a wide open 3 for Maverick Rowan, and then Dennis Smith getting all the way to the rim. So, I mean, Mark Gottfried, when it works, go to it. Run all your options out of it. That's really good coaching and really good execution by NC State.
20-5 run. It's 7-0 over the last minute and 11 seconds. Smith has 30 points and 6 rebounds for Coach Gottfried. 30 points, 1 below his career high, 31 against Georgia Tech. Just the 21st game of his college career.
One thing here for NC State, Sean. You want to have a good defensive possession, but you do not want to give up a 3, and you certainly do not want to foul. Let that clock run.
NC State came over here for the short trip to Cameron. Losers are 4 of their last 5. A home loss to Wake Forest on Saturday. The other losses in that stretch at Chapel Hill, at Boston College, and against Georgia Tech. A big 3, way too long by Tatum, and a rebound in traffic by Abou.
I'm not sure that's the shot that Jeff Capel wanted. It was under pressure.
You have to foul if you're Duke, Jay?
I don't think you have to yet.
They're going to take it down under 40 seconds.
You got to stop here. It can look different.
Smith takes the hit from Jones. They still had 13 seconds on the shot clock, but he saw an opening and went toward the bucket. 4 fouls on Jones. It's a shooting foul, and the next one will be the 10th on Duke, so it'll be 2 shots the rest of the way for the Wolfpack.
Dennis Smith, you got to give him a lot of credit. He could have hung his head with about 4.5, 5 minutes to go when a couple things didn't go his way. Remember when he missed that what looked like an easy layup? Every layup's easy for him. He's so good. Remember when he missed that? He had his head down, and Mark Gottfried grabbed him and keeping him in the game. And that was a big play. And he came back, and he's had a terrific finish. Wow. Missed those 2, but
Jones rescued it. They almost kicked the rebound out of bounds. 2 big misses. Allen charging to the bucket. He gets ripped down to the ground, and the crowd didn't like the foul on Abou. What a big sequence there. Jeff Capel out on the floor. Mike Eads tells him to go back to the bench.
Well, they called the foul early right there, but he was going after the ball. The grab came after, and you wonder how they're gonna look at this, because the foul itself, I thought Abdul Malik Abou was going after the ball, but after the whistle blew, he still had a hold of Grayson Allen's arm. I think this is going to be play on.
Yeah, I think it should be too.
I absolutely believe it'd be play on. Like everybody's sensitivity's up because Grayson Allen's involved, but that's a play on.
And you wonder if that enters into the minds of the officials.
Well, it should.
No, it should. Yeah. And I think these 3 are 3 outstanding officials. just think it's a foul.
Yeah, I think it's just a
Keep going.
Yep.
What a big sequence. The two missed free throws. Then on the second miss, the ball very nearly went out of bounds, and Matt Jones saved it. An 8-point lead in the final minute. And Duke would have been really up against it. Now Grayson Allen, good free throw shooter, has a chance to make it a 2-point game with a long way to go. 44.6. 11 points tonight for Allen.
And for North Carolina State, a box out on this free throw in case it's missed, but then doing a good job of inbounding the ball and being strong with it. So this team has been turnover prone.
They're going to bring full court pressure. Smith, the point guard, gets it in. Tough spot for Henderson. They're double teaming him. And they turn it over. And then Henderson knocked Kennard down to the ground.
The last place, Sean, that you want to catch the ball is Coffin corner. It invites the double team. You got nowhere to go. And that's exactly where Henderson caught it.
I should point out neither team has a timeout left. So in a situation like that, Henderson in trouble. Ordinarily you get a timeout. They don't have one. Nor does Duke. So here's Kennard. 6 out of 8 from the line.
All these free throws missed by Duke earlier in the game, looming larger in this. But NC State has got to send some people long. They can't have all 4 receivers inside the top of the key. That's not enough space. Somebody has got to go long.
Duke keeps the pressure on. He inbounded into the corner again. Smith got it back to Rowan. Off to Johnson. Wow, they're very shaky with the ball right now. And Rowan fouled with 30.3 to go. Boy, the freshman Johnson in front of Mark Gottfried looked like he was about to travel, and some anxious moments on that Wolfpack bench. Luke Kennard called for his 4th foul, and this is the double bonus now. So Maverick Rowan to shoot 2.
Really frenetic. That was a bad pass by Maverick Rowan that he got away with. I think he wanted to get rid of the ball before he picked it up and was able to get trapped near the half-court line.
82%, as you see, a good number, but only 17 attempts on the year, now 18.
That is not easy in this environment to be able to step up there calmly and knock free throws down.
Maverick Rowan, sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, has 7 points. He missed time early in the year with a concussion. Big free throw to make it back to a 4-point lead for NC State. Again, the Wolfpack trying to win here for the first time since 1995. 16 straight losses in the building. And the layup missed by Tatum. The rebound by Smith, and he'll go to the other end to shoot 2 with 23.5 to go.
Well, give a lot of credit to Abdul Malik Abu for that challenge on the drive by Jason Tatum. He went up strong without fouling and really forced that miss.
That foul on Kennard knocks him out of the game. So they lose their best 3-point shooter, best free throw shooter. Kennard fouls out with 20, even though he didn't start. That's right on his season average, 19.7.
What an impressive response by North Carolina State. You documented, Sean, how this team has struggled mightily on the road, has struggled to stop people. And in the second half, when they were down after giving up 44 points in that first half, have come out and done a really good job on both ends of the floor in the second half.
They've played 4 true road games this season, lost by 14 in Illinois, by 18 in Miami, by 51 at North Carolina, and by 8 at Boston College. They're 20 seconds away from their first win in 22 years at Cameron, but don't put it in the win column yet. Jackson the layup. Here comes the pressure. Knocked out of bounds by Tatum. Tough inbounding spot upcoming for the Wolfpack with no timeouts and 16.5 to go, leading by 4.
That is way too many people near the baseline. North Carolina State's got to send people long. Whether it's Abu, Henderson, they got to go and give room to Dennis Smith Jr., Markel Johnson to be the guys that catch it, face, and bring it up.
Jones guarding the ball. Javin DeLaurier, a freshman, is checked in. They need to foul Smith, and they do now. Jackson commits the foul with 14.7 to go.
Smith is a good free throw shooter, but he's missed a few in this one. He missed 2 in a row last time he went to the line.
He's 8 out of 13 tonight. NC State is 19 for 26. Mark Gottfried said the attitude's been good. We're very, very close. They need a momentum-changing win. Turn this season around with an eye toward getting back to the postseason. Another miss by Smith. He is 32. That's a career high. One more than he put up against Georgia Tech.
Big free throw.
Way short.
They missed 4 in a row.
Still leading by 4. Jones leaned in trying to get a foul called. Tatum is fouled by Rowan. And a chance for a three-point play with 6.4 to go.
Boy, what a bad foul by Maverick Rowan. It's one thing to give up the bucket, but stopping the clock and fouling, allowing Duke to go to the free throw line and not only get a point closer, but to be able to set up a full court pressure.
Four fouls on Rowan. One free throw for Tatum.
And Sean, this is a big block out too.
Sure
Terry Henderson blocking out Matt Jones.
85% for the year. He makes it. Now a big inbound with no timeouts and the relentless pressure dialed up by Duke. They get it into Rowan and they foul him with 5.3 to go.
And Maverick Rowan, the right guy to get the ball to, because he is an excellent free throw shooter, and last time he was up at the line, just calmly knocked 2 in. I'm not sure he even came close to hitting the rim on those 2.
Maverick Rowan. Dad Ron was a fine player at St. John's. Drafted by the NBA.
His dad Ron played in the same backcourt as Mark Jackson at St. John's.
Yeah. 9 points for Rowan, all here in the second half.
Hit that big 3, and then has really done a nice job at the free throw line.
When he makes it, the age-old question, well, he didn't make it, so it doesn't matter. You foul before they can shoot a 3. Down by 2. Lost on the dribble. Tatum turned it over. The exclamation point by Smith will not count, but that doesn't matter. NC State wins in Cameron for the first time since 1995.
What a fabulous win for NC State. Down at halftime, they gave up 44 points. 57% from the field in the first half. Came out, played some zone, executed